Guys, it's crazy, about the way things is these days because you really have to adjust your thinking when things are different. It used to be cheap to live in a city, but because everybody wants to come here from all these places and other countries, they drive the prices up. Okay. You know, um, a gig, this is where we at now. A gig is better than a job. And an Airbnb, if you live in an apartment, an Airbnb is better than an apartment. I'll give you an example. You can get an Airbnb in the suburbs of Chicago, which is better than the city, the suburbs, where you actually have a parking space, a washer, dryer, internet, cable TV if you like that, electricity, right? All the amenities, parking, and I can't overstress parking space and washer and dryer. You can get all that in the suburbs, in the peaceful suburbs, for $1,500 a month. You cannot find an apartment in Chicago where you can have all those things for $1,500 a month. Not no apartment you're gonna sign a lease from. A lease for. Basically, what you can get out of an Airbnb will cost. Well, if I was to live in a city and have to have all those things: washer, dryer, parking space, internet, cable TV, right? Washer and dryer, water, heat, all that stuff. What I'm seeing on the Airbnb market, it would cost anywhere between $2,000 and $2,500 to live like that. And we're talking about a one bedroom, guys. We're talking about a one bedroom. Unless you live in somebody's basement who you know, or something, like somebody's leasing out their basement or something like that, you're going to pay way more in the city and you're going to get way less. So, you know, one of my best qualities is that I'm able to adjust on the fly. And of course, when the gig first came out, you had the slaves talking about, no, you got to get a job. You had to explain to them why a gig is better. Now some of them starting to see that a gig is better. Now they question it. And that's natural. People gonna talk smack about what you're doing if they didn't have to do it that way. But after a while, when they see your determination and they start to look into it, they say, man, maybe a gig really is better than a job. You know. Then when Airbnbs came out, people, well, we're talking about, well, only a single person can really have an Airbnb, or people together that don't have children. But now Airbnbs are here, and people are seeing now that, man, it's like cheaper to stay in an Airbnb because every time you sign a leash, somebody's screwing you over, you know. And in my situation, whereas I got gang stalked at every single lease, didn't matter if I was in Vegas, Chicago, New York, didn't matter where I was. Every single apartment building I signed a lease from, it started out good. Next thing you know, the person who was peaceful moves out, and the crazies come in. And guess what? You're stuck there on a lease. It's kind of the same thing that be happening on a job too. I was talking to a lady the other night at McDowell's, real nice lady, and she was telling me how, this manager, when his manager was here, because, guys, man, I'm telling you, I go to these restaurants, they switch out. I told you, these people switch out jobs like they're club hopping, including the managers. And this lady, she's been there a while. She was telling me how when one manager was there, the person was so cool. Oh, if you find, and chosen people know what this is all about. If you come across a situation where your manager is cool with you and everything is cool, oh, that manager would not be. He or she would only be there for a short period of time. Y'all already know, and then they'll bring in a crazy motherfucker as your manager, your manager, and then everything can go to hell again. You literally, as a chosen one, you literally see how the devil constantly keeps putting these NPCs in your life. Once again, if everything's peaceful, they bring in a cool manager. Y'all already know that person gonna be up out of there. And we're not talking about cool as in the sense, or the manager lets you steal stuff or don't write you up. No, we're talking about somebody who just ain't fucking with you, right? Everything cool. The manager is there. Everybody's doing their job. This person, he or she ain't trying to write you up for no nonsense. The person is actually fair. There's peace. Whenever there's peace, it's like a signal sent out to the universe. They gotta bring somebody in there to cause discord. And that's your modern day job. That's exactly how it is. You're like, why does that? Because somebody always got to be sucking your energy from some damn well. That's why it's like that. The devil don't want no peace nowhere. He hates humanity. So once again, here's a situation where a gig now is actually better than a job, and an Airbnb is actually better than an apartment. Once upon a time, I thought it was so important to sign a lease. How is it so important to sign something you don't even own? A lease, which is a leash. People don't even realize that they be thinking they doing something. They ain't doing nothing. They still a slave. You in an apartment building. If you live in an apartment building, you technically you still homeless. If you're in an apartment building, it's not yours. It's not yours. Oh my goodness, y'all. But yeah, a gig is better than a job, and Airbnbs are actually better than apartments. A job screws you over every single time, and signing an apartment lease screws you over every single time. Parking. Let's say you want to go live in the main part of the city. You park your car on the street. Wait, you go outside one day, somebody didn't hit your car, but you paying all this money to stay in this part. They got you thinking that this place is like it's so important, and you sign that lease and you think you're doing something. You ain't doing a goddamn thing. It's crazy. Boy, I tell you, you really got to think about who is who and what is what out here.